You are now listening to About That Business, hosted by Rom Wills. Rom Wills is an entrepreneur and personal coach who has helped people reach their fullest potential personally and professionally. Take it away, Rom.
Welcome to Rom Wills About That Business. Inventory time. Yeah, you know what? First of the year. And this is for anybody who has, it's not as bad if you're selling a service. But if you have products, inventory is key. Inventory is key. And the reason why, because it's tax time. You got to tell the tax man, unless you're in, some people, depending on the jurisdiction they in, they might have to account, have some sell taxes per quarter and stuff, right? And I'm saying depending. It really depends. Sometimes it could be just that once a year thing, depending depending on your business form, if you're a sole proprietor or LLC, it really depends, all right? But whatever the case, this is the time of year that you're usually going to do inventory. Now, I know in some retail establishments, they're about to do inventory. They'll do it right away. Now, with the tracking system they have now, it's easy. They can, if they sell something, they got dates, times, everything, and, they figure it out. Just to keep track of everything. And some people might inventory twice a year or something like that. But if you're a small business, say you're selling some products, right? Say you're selling some products. You got books. I'll use books since that's what I sell, right? I got to sit back. I was sitting back counting them, and I don't keep a lot of books on my premises, all right? Just mainly copies of my books, Nice Guys and Players and Sexual Chemistry. Man, they're pretty easy to count. Because I have a few unopened boxes and it lists on there how many are in there, so it's easy, like boom. But you got to count that, and also too, you got to get into your paperwork, what you've sold, what you might have given away, what you might have damaged out. Like I got some books I've had to damage out and take them out of inventory because it might have been a situation where I was doing a book signing, I started signing the book and I mess up or something, and I don't want to give somebody some jacked up signature or something like that, or I spell their name wrong, so I take them out, give them something else. So I don't even count them anymore. They damaged. You might as well just throw them out, right? Or some of them, but I don't count them towards my inventory. But that's a very important thing. You got to make sure you got everything. Make sure everything lines up, because as part of that too, keep any, throughout the year, you should have been keeping any major receipts of any purchases, because you can write off a lot of that stuff. Like any supplies you use. When I'm mailing stuff, I get some boxes, special boxes to mail books, special packaging for it and everything. And I write it off. I write it off. So I check through all of that. I check through my mailing receipts. You want to also, around this time of year, get all that together. Now, the easiest thing to do is to do it gradually. Maybe have some type of bookkeeping or something like that. But honestly, depending on the size of your business, you might could get away with just doing it, but the bottom, just doing it once a year or something to get it ready for taxes. You can get away with it, but at the very least, whatever you do, whether you do it on a consistent basis, have a ledger or anything, which I'm gonna be honest, I highly recommend that. I highly recommend, because it makes it easier. Then when the end of the year comes, you got everything. And you can check stuff, and it's right there. Boom. It's right there. All you have to do is just write it down. Now, Rom does it difficult. This is one of those things, do as I say and not as I do. But just the nature of what I do, it don't take me like an hour or so to put everything together while I'm watching a court show or something, which is what I was doing. I'm watching a court show, pushing out my numbers. Because actually, my product sales, my book sales, most of them are print on demand on Amazon. So all I had to do was just get my royalties from them, and any listing and get the forms for the royalties from them. The tax form for that is like boom. But what I do directly right now, that's easy. Now, if when I was selling books directly and shipping and stuff, then that's when I really had the ledger. That's when I had the ledger and say, okay, on this day, ship this many, sold this many, because it was more of an everyday thing when I was selling. And like I said, that's the best thing. That's really the best thing. And then whatever way you do it, you definitely want to get everything done. If not on the first of the year, because depending on what type of social life you had, you might have had to go out party or anything. You need to do it the second day of the year. And say if you now some people depending, like some smaller businesses might do that inventory on the 31st or the 1st, or they might do it late in the evening or something, depending on how big their place is and everything. It really depends on the nature of your products, how many and everything, but you still need to do it. And say if you do it late, like you could do it like later in the month, but you just have to have a good bookkeeping system so you know what you sold the previous year and then what you sold in the new year, right? But you want to do all of that and like have all your stuff ready. Now, whether you do your taxes yourself, and which you can if you're a smaller business concern, enterprise, solopreneur, you probably can. You probably can if you're competent counting numbers. But if you're not and you have to take it to some type of accountant or something, you especially need to have everything. But yeah, that's that time. And like I said, for me, it was like, it took less than an hour to count everything, because one thing, I keep my stuff pretty organized, so it's just like boom, count it, boom, write it down, boom, add up the numbers, boom, and then make sure all the receipts are down, and I got all my documentation of everything I've expended money on, and I spent money on a lot of stuff. Yeah, tax man won't get me that badly this year, but they're getting their cut. And actually with that, I don't mind that, because I actually wanted to get to a point in life where I have to give the tax man something, because that means I made some money. Because if I get any money back this year, that's because those tax laws are really beneficial. I don't anticipate it though, so I'm not worried about it. But like I said, I don't mind, because that means business was very good. But yeah, inventory time. This the time of year. Y'all doing some stuff, count it up. Or if you got services, make sure all those receipts are there. Like like I've used the massage therapist thing a lot. Make sure you got a receipt of every person you gave a massage to. Keep that stuff. Keep that stuff. Keep those receipts. Keep them all there. Because you never know if you're going to get audited. You never know. You really keep it. You always want to think in terms of, okay, I got to prove this. Now, as far as audits, I don't know if they still random or something. But if, and one thing, I'll say this. Let me say a final thing about the tax thing. Make sure everything lined up from the year before. Get out your taxes from the previous year. Especially check like cost of goods, that paper, the Schedule C. Check out your Schedule C and just be like, all right, this is what I spent last year. This is what I did. This is what my final cost of goods were for the previous year. Let me make sure that matches up. Because that's one of those things, if something doesn't match up, then they will call you in, or they'll say, wait, there's a discrepancy here. Right? And plus, that's helpful for you, because it's easy, honestly, especially if you're a smaller business, it is extremely, extremely, extremely easy to maybe miss something. If you're smaller, like, maybe you had a receipt for something or a service you performed, and you got home and you didn't put it away right away, it got accidentally thrown out. Something happened, or You know, there's unfortunately a lot of businesses, if they provide a service, it might be sort of under the table, but you never know when that other person might have like said, like actually kept a record of it or something. So you want to be very meticulous about that. You want to make sure everything adds up. So anyway, that's all I have for now. Let's go make that money.